Hey guys, this is Blue. So I just wanted to do a quick update about the state of the game. I have gotten a lot of questions over the past month or two inquiring whether there have been any updates, new content, new bots. There's been a lot of interest in the Bavers bots coming back. And the short answer is no, there's nothing. And the blunt reality is at this point, there has been no new content in 3 months since the end of Act 6 dropped in late January. There's been nothing of any kind. And so realistically, I think the only rational approach going forward is to expect nothing, to expect no new content or bots or anything to come, okay? Because this seems to be Netflix's strategy. They're acquiring a lot of games. They pump it up with a bunch of content at first, and then after that, they do very little to nothing in terms of updates. They're taking a quantity over quality approach. Now, I do want to stress that I don't have any inside knowledge here that you guys don't. And given the fact that Netflix has chosen not to communicate at all, we have no idea if or when any new content will come. And so we just have to look at their actions. And given the fact that it's been several months, I don't think it's wise to expect anything. I have spoken to some friends who've played a bunch of other Netflix games, and it seems to be that this is just how they operate. It seems like even with other games, they either get no updates, or if they do, they're very rare. You know, we're talking maybe a few times a year. So I think that the game probably will stay in Netflix's catalog for a while. They clearly are continuing to try to build up their portfolio. I think this is a very stupid strategy to not update their games. But even though I think the game will probably be around for a while, any updates that we do get, if we get any, I think will be minimal, and it's entirely possible that nothing else will come. So the game is dead, guys. You've just got to see it that way. It's best to look at things objectively, and this is where we are. It's just the same old, very repetitive AMs and arenas and raids, stuff like that, but there's really nothing else going on. So at this point, I'm still playing. I play very casually. I play a lot less than I did before. I'm not doing super competitive AMs anymore. To me, that just seems very pointless. But overall, I still enjoy the game. I still log in every day. And there are days where I log in and I'm bored out of my mind. And there are other days where I still have a lot of fun, So if you're still playing, I think it's best to just accept the game for what it is without any expectations. And then if anything does drop in the future, that'll be a very pleasant surprise. I'm at this point just playing in a retirement alliance with some friends of mine. We do high levels for fun. We test out bots. We try different things just casually. And that's still enjoyable for me overall because there's no real serious commitments. And the other thing, though, that is sad is that the player base has rapidly declined in recent months. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize just how small their player base is now. Now, granted, the player base was always smaller in this new version compared to the previous era, which makes sense and is very understandable. But in the last several months, it's gotten significantly smaller. I mean, to give you some context, guys, my alliance, we ranked, I believe, 21st. Yes, 21st in the last AM, which is crazy considering that most days we're only running 1 BG. I think at most we've had maybe 1.5 BGs participating, So the fact that we can rank top 25 with only a handful of players is just very illustrative of how small the player base is. I mean, sure, we're doing high levels and you get a lot more points than at lower levels, but there are a lot of teams like this now. I mean, even top teams, most of them aren't full. Recruiting is basically impossible now. A lot of teams that were formerly full and very active are now down to 12 players, 10 players, whatever. A lot of people are leaving, which makes sense. And I think that will only continue so long as the game is not being updated. And so, let's hope that if there are any further updates, they come before the player base is effectively down to near zero. But honestly, I think anything that does come will probably be too little too late. But that's okay. look, I mean, my perspective is, we never thought the game would come back in any capacity. The fact that we've had the game for nearly another year is a great thing if you're a fan of the game. So even though it's obviously disappointing and it's boring and there's not much of anything to do, you can still play if you want. And if you're sick of it, if you're just bored out of your mind, you can always leave and possibly come back later. So my approach is, I'm going to continue to play casually. I am also going to continue to upload videos occasionally. It won't be as often as before because there's just nothing going on. But I'm still enjoying it. And once I eventually reach the point where I just don't feel like it's worth it anymore, I will completely retire as well. And I think that's going to be true for a lot of people, So anyway, guys, that's the update. Nothing in the past several months. No word on whether anything else will come, so we'll just have to see what happens. So I will leave it there for now, guys. I hope all of you are well, and we will be in touch again before too long. Take care.